needs of the public in general, say Mercer County, for example. There's unrest here, there's money enough to take care of more delegates, and they could be supplied. The court system is I think, is overworked here because there are more people with problems, and there's an unrest. In smaller places, you don't have to have that much representation because most people agree and not everybody's fussing and fighting. And you don't have as much conflict when people on a broader span with more room, and there's not as much controversy and misunderstandings. The court system doesn't, I don't think, function well with too much paperwork, and if there isn't enough people to carry the paperwork, it gets stopped up. That promotes another problem. More delegates is necessary for Mercer County. I think so. And if that can't be worked out for Mercer County, the other places, one delegate might be fine. I don't question that. I live here and I understand the situation, especially because I'm here. If it's a smaller, broad span place with a broader population per capita area, that might be well, that might be fine. But if the money is here and there's problems here, and the paper shop seems to be combining continually and becoming more of a problem with the social concerns and having things getting done, I think there should be more consideration for delegates.
Yeah, I don't think there's any advocacy of just one delegate for Mercer, because you have a population of 62,264, and it's 18,500 per delegate. That puts you into a 3 to 4 delegate, at least 3 full, and then maybe 1 part-time, one attached to another county. But unfortunately, sir, money, fighting, disputes and all like that, we constitutionally can't take that into consideration. Plus, that would be very difficult because all through West Virginia, every community is fighting carrying on. So we can't really look at that. But we do look at the population.
Sir, with all due respect, what need is there of government? We don't need government if everybody's getting along. You don't have to need that much government.
Right.
You don't need the court.
That's what Madison said. If we all were angels, we wouldn't need government.
That's right. We're shuffling a lot of paper down here. We need some more help, I think so, sir.
Okay.
My name's Thornton Cooper. I live in South Charleston. I'm an attorney, retired state employee, Democrat, and although I'm not here in capacity, I'm a member of the Kanawha County Democratic Executive Committee and the South Charleston Democratic Executive Committee. But I want to talk about 3 different things. I've been working on redistricting for 30 years. I've testified in federal cases, so I've done lots and lots of research. In my hometown of South Charleston, I fought for single-member districts at the ward level. We used to have some 2-member districts and some 1-member districts. And so I'm for single-member districts because that way it's easy to knock off if you are unhappy with your representative, you can vote them out. And so we tried to do that in South Charleston. I came up with a plan for dividing this into 8 single-member wards instead of a number of 2-member wards and 1-member wards. City Council didn't want that, just like the House of Delegates doesn't want to change the status quo. But in South Charleston, we have an initiative referendum recall. I drafted an initiative to change the city charter, drafted a petition to be circulated. The voters did go with that. We had an election in 1983. We went for 8 single-member wards, effective 1987. And for example, how accountable you may have to be in South Charleston, our 8 wards, 3 incumbents were toppled in the Democratic primaries. So that's 3/8. And I think if you have single-member districts in West Virginia, it'll be easier for the people to be in a position where they can remove their elected officials if they're unhappy with it. So this is something I've been fighting for. I would like to point out, of course, the members of the Senate Redistricting Committee know I've already submitted several different plans for redistricting the United States House of Representatives. They're supposed to approach numerical equality. I've submitted plans. I don't know if anybody's come up with anything closer than mine, but in the eyes of the federal court, approaching numerical equality is the most important thing. And so if you don't go with numerical perfection, you better have a good reason. With the of Delegates, I'm pushing for single-member districts. I emailed everybody on the House of Delegates Redistricting Committee last night, and I'm in the process of coming up with a plan, which I'm emailing to them to divide West Virginia into 100 single-member districts. I'm going to look at census maps and tell them how to do it. One way to do it, and that it complies with the state constitution. I do think that the state constitution does require that if you have a county that has more than 18,530, you are required to have at least one delegate elected wholly within a district that's wholly within that county. And so this is not being done correctly in some parts of the state. Let's move on to Senate redistricting. The state constitution says that the populations of the state central districts are supposed to be as close as possible. So even though the federal courts may let you go by with a 5% variance from perfection, the senators are sworn to try to get as close numerically as possible without crossing county lines. Well, you can't do it without crossing county lines. But what I did was figure out, how can I come up with a plan that's as close to numerical perfection as possible and has the districts compact? What does compact mean? It means like a circle. You're not going to have these perfectly circular districts, but there's a mathematical way to test compactness. You take the area of the district, and you then find a small circle that will enclose that district. You divide the area of that district by the area of that circle, and that gives you the compactness thing. So it is not just, I know it when I see it. It is a mathematically provable function. Another way that I try to do it is to figure out the perimeter of the district. Well, that doesn't work too much well in West Virginia. It may make some sense in states that are square or rectangular, but because so many of our boundaries are rivers and everything, that is probably not a rational way to do it. So, what I did, I believe it's the big counties that should be split, not the small ones. So you might think, well, is he going to support splitting Mercer? No, I'm putting Mercer back together. Because the first thing is, I try not to break up counties. But the way I looked at it, I had to break up 7 counties. Which if you compare that with what you've got now, you'll see that's an improvement. And my philosophy is you don't break up a county unless it's a big county. Not if it's a small county, you break up the big counties. But Mercer was one of the big counties I had to break up. And there's a reason for that. And I played around with the numbers for weeks before Senator Unger started having these meetings. And I came up with my draft plan. So my plan, which I have here, it's too small for you to see, but I'll submit it to the committee. The committee already has a submission, but the boundaries of the county didn't quite show up right with the last submission. But my plan is that the first senatorial district would be comprised of all Hancock, all Brooke, all Ohio, part of Marshall. Its population would be 109,782. Right? Pretty close to 109,000. Then Senate District 2 would be comprised of the rest of Marshall, all of Wetzel, all of Tyler, the portion of Montague County that doesn't include Morgantown, and the part of Marion County that does include Fairmont. You put those together, and you get 109,737. Now, those were places where we had to divide counties. Then the third district is, the third senatorial district is probably the one that's least changed under my plan. But the result is a very compact district which does not cross county lines. It would be consisting of Wood, Pleasance, Ritchie, and Wirt. You add those 4 counties together, 108,672. I think you'll agree that that's pretty close to 109,000. Then District 5 would be all of Putnam County. Let's start with 4. District, I was reading, for District 3 is 110,727. District 4 would be all of Mason, all of Jackson, all of Rome, all of Calhoun, and the rural northeast portion of Kanawha County. Kanawha County is a big county, it needs to be split. And so that's how I would split it. That's one piece of it. 5 would be Putnam County and the western portion of Kanawha County. The portion that includes St. Albans, Nitro, and Cross Lanes, and some other areas. It's basically Magisterial District 3 and 2 precincts of Magisterial District 4. You add all of Putnam County together, and then that portion of Kanawha County, you get, in District 5, 108,707. District 6 is the southern part of Kanawha County that also includes where I live, South Charleston, all of Charleston, and basically all of Magisterial Districts 1 and 2. And that would be wholly within Kanawha County and would elect 2 senators. And under my plan, as I calculated it, it's 110,195. Still pretty close to 109,000. District 7 is one where we would have to divide some counties. As I said, I believe you should divide big counties. And so I don't think you should split Wayne, I think you should split Cabell. I'm talking about, when I say big, I'm not talking about area, I'm talking about population. So the Huntington part of Cabell County and the area along the Ohio River in Cabell County, plus Wayne, all of Wayne County, that would add up to, by my calculation, that'd be a new District 8, that'd be 108,767. That's pretty close.